Hey guys, welcome to Hunkered Down with Seth. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I always record with this teddy bear on my lap just because I'm fidgety. So I grab, the teddy bear. And, as this episode of Hunkered Down with Seth is off to a flying start, I have a great guest for you on the show. See, you made me laugh before we started. He's a great buddy of mine, literally my first official improv teacher. He has been in so many theater sports, he's been in so many shows, and he is the improviser most likely to be in his underwear on stage. Chazz Kaskes. Chazz, thanks for being on. Always great hearing from you. What's up?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Seth. I really appreciate it. And I will take the title of improviser most likely to be in his underwear, but am I really your first improv teacher?
Well, if we're talking about classes that I've taken, yes, you are.
Opposed to classes that you have stolen or classes that you have given back?
Well, as opposed to me just dropping in and watching you know, like dropping in on a Sunday before piggyback would start and just watching the
Sure.
class. You're the first
Sure,
official
sure, sure.
person I took a class from.
Wow. And how long ago was that? Because I feel like I've just known you like forever in my improv career.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because with your improv career, for even to this day, you're known as like the kid or the young one. Even though you've been doing improv
Yeah.
for like close to a decade. Um,
I've been doing improv at UP for a decade as of last November.
wow.
I know, but it's true. I still am the kid. I mean, now I'm the bearded kid, which is a super villain at this point in time.
Bearded. That's a pretty scary supervillain. Yeah, he's a kid, but he has
Bearded
a
kid.
beard. And what's his power?
Right.
He has the power to
Just to frighten other people. Like really. Oh,
exactly.
just comedy on the side, but his main thing is frightening like small children and making kittens
Yeah, but the weird thing is, kids love you, and especially you're the type of guy who you show up on stage, every teenage girl swoons. You're the teen heartthrob.
Wow. Well, I think it's usually their like their closeted dads or their moms who are swooning. The kids just wind up in pictures
Yeah,
as some sort of like as some sort of like trophy later.
yeah. Well, yeah, you're one of two team heartthrobs with Dan Paulson's. So
Oh, Dan Poslin's and I. Wow, like the dynamic duo. Like if I'm the bearded kid, what sort of monstrosity would Dan Poslin be? He'd be like I don't know.
uh,
Pac-Man.
the
I don't
beard,
know why that came
the
out.
bearded
I regret
cynic.
that. The bearded cynic.
Uh,
Oh, are you speaking of Dan Poslin's beards and cynics? Uh, are you also in the quarantine beard game where everyone's just sort of not caring about their facial hair and seeing what happens on the other side?
you know, for me, it's the exact opposite. It's now that I'm at home and I don't have anywhere to go, I'm up to date on my grooming. Bef- Before I used
Wow.
to shave like once a week, even when I had a steady job. Now I'm down
Yeah.
to every 2 or 3 days. So,
Wow.
and that has
That's actually impressive. That's like work.
that has more to do with my lady preferring me to be clean shaven. So now that I'm here, I'm able to
Wow.
give her extra attention. So I got to look good for her.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And how's the family anyway? I know this is a podcast about me, but like
Oh,
my heart's a podcast about you, Seth.
oh, everybody in my family has been taking the precautions. I'm down here in Long Beach with my lady. My family in Wisconsin, they're definitely isolated. They're making sure that they don't go out. My sisters are locked down. They're doing well. You're the first person to ask that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Everybody else
yeah.
were being
Yeah.
selfish jerks, saying this is my time. You know, it's
Yeah.
about me,
Well, I
me.
mean, like I said, my heart is a podcast about you, Seth. My heart is a podcast about you. Um, Hold on. I am actually kind of running a few errands right now. Do you mind if I just grab some bread real quick?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
actually at my family bakery right now. Maybe its own talking point.
Do you want to give a shout
Uh,
out to that? Because anybody who needs great bread could always go to your family's bakery.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone ever finds themselves in Bothell, Washington, come on down to the Hillcrest Bakery. It's been owned by my family for over 50 years at that point. At this point in time, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, it's 53, I think.
53 years. The
So,
Kaskes family
53.
in
No,
Bothell,
50,
Washington. The
50,
Hillcrest Bakery.
55 years.
55.
Yeah, 55 years as of April 2nd. So coming up on Thursday. Well, hot damn. Hot damn, look at that.
Wow, 55
No,
years
very
serving.
good. I'm going to,
You do
yeah,
the bread,
I'm
I'll
gonna
do the
I'm gonna
commercial.
grab the bread real quick.
Fellas and ladies, are you stuck in your apartment or house and live around the Bothell, Washington area? Have you really got a taste for amazing bread and baked products like bread? Then definitely go to the Hillcrest Bakery, serving Bothell, Washington as of April 2nd for 55 years. I've definitely wanted to go, although I've never been in the Bothell area too much, but it's a staple of the community. It's got great service. They're honest people, and they will definitely bake you some of the best bread you'll ever have. So head on down to Hillcrest Bakery in Bothell, Washington. Okay, I'm gonna buy a little more time. Um, uh, I want to talk about Essentia Water. It is very
All
overachieving.
right, thank you.
Okay, and we're back.
That's it, and we're back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what's? I gave a nice commercial. What's the address on
I know
that?
I was hearing that. Oh, the address is it's 10010 Main Street in Bothell, Washington.
Very easy to remember. 110 Main Street. You can't forget that.
That's right. So very good. Anyway, yeah, thank you for what a sweet little what a sweet little
Yeah,
opportunity that was. Yeah.
of course. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. To answer your question,
Pretty, yeah.
I think I took your class in 2015, just the Improv 100,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, but
2016.
weren't I I think it was. Didn't you take my improv 200 class?
No, I only
I
did
thought you
100.
jumped. You only did 100. Oh, then and did I teach the whole class in that one?
No, it was split. You
Because
did
I
the first four, and Chris last did the
yeah.
last four.
Wow. And what serendipity it is. And in fact, I mean, I'm not gonna totally like say that you're the reason, Seth, but I'm pretty sure that Chris and I, in the changing of the guard in that class, like looked at each other and deep down we knew we needed to live together because we taught you in the same class.
Yeah.
It was like some sort of like Eskimo brothers or something, or
Yeah.
roommates.
Also in that class, we had one particular student named Sid Hat, who's now very much a staple of the improv community.
Wait, who was it? Who was
Sid?
in that one?
Sid.
Oh, oh, that's right. Yeah, he was in that class, wasn't he? That's where I got to know him.
Oh, definitely. And
Wow, wow. So much history. So much history.
definitely.
Anyhow,
And
that's great. Yeah, with COVID, it's been really strange down at the theater, just because we had to close down our doors by order of the governor himself, and which I mean is common, I think, pretty much the entire country at this point in time. But boy, after doing improv for pretty much every through this drought of not only am I not performing at all, but also just like effectively not allowed in any of the theaters because that's some of my other like main gigs um, is doing tech work
Yeah.
as a technical director, and so it's just been like this absence of theater has been so stark for me. It's really really strange.
Yeah, plus for your health, because with this whole pandemic thing, being in a building that's literally 3 feet away from the gum wall is not the best idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, yeah. 3 feet from the gum wall is, I think, I'm pretty sure that if the coronavirus wasn't gonna start at the gum or didn't start at the gum wall, then it was going to eventually.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
in Chernobyl, the elephant's foot, that big glob of radioactive material. That's the gum
Yeah.
wall of Seattle.
Oh man, there was one time where we were it was an improv festival. There was a bunch of us hanging out, and I they were all remarking about how gross the gum wall was, this and that, yada yada yada, and I was like joking around because I know this gum wall very well at this point in time. And in fact, I think in my level 500 class in 2008, 2009, maybe 2008, Randy had us do what he calls the market walk, and you choose one sense, which is you could touch, smell, see, or listen, and you would walk all the way down the Pike Place Market strip and then back, just absorbing the market, only those senses. And I picked touch. The
Oh,
first thing I did was run my hand along the gum wall.
ugh,
Yeah, I think just that gave me immunity to like certain different diseases.
God.
Um, and so anyway, so I'm like up against this. Um, I'm like pretending like I'm gonna be like fucking around at the gum wall. Blah, blah, blah. Here's my hands up against the gum wall, and I took a step, and all of a sudden the sun had been shining on this little corner next to the wall where like melted emulsified tar, gum, dirt, mud had like all congealed in this corner. And as I stepped down in this like now molten gum disease, yeah, gum disease, yeah. I like my foot like slid out from underneath
Oh
me. I was
no.
like, oh! It was probably one of the more horrific things that I've had happen with that gum wall.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hold
Or
on.
oh man, when do you remember when Seattle decided they were gonna spray down the whole entire gum wall because they needed to reseal the brick? The amount of sugar was deteriorating the structure. Do you remember that?
Yeah, not only do I remember that, I was the only one I saw on Facebook who took a picture of the blank wall.
Wow. I mean that right there is like monumentous.
Yeah, that it's weird. People.
Like I remember that night walking up to go to do a duos, and some guy was walking behind the poor guy pressure washing. There's this guy walking behind this market worker with this like big roll of bubble tape or bubble yum or whatever that nasty brand is,
Yeah.
and like pulls out like a foot of it and goes, "Want to join the cause?" And I'm like, "I'm okay, dude."
No. God.
Um,
Oh, and I thought was
that
funny
same
was
night,
everybody was like, "I wonder what it looks like," and I'm like, "Probably like that blank wall over there."
probably like a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just look 20 feet down, you'll know exactly what it looks like.
like the mystery of it all, right? It's
Oh,
sort of like the same allure of like a naked woman. It's like, oh, I wonder what she looks like under those clothes. Probably like a fucking human being.
exactly.
Just because it's covered up most of the time doesn't
let's talk about your personal history, because this is about you and not the gum wall. Although the gum wall and you are tied together so much. Um,
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've done everything but make love to that gum wall. We've only made love with our eyes.
I've nah, I'm not gonna say. I have. Let's just say I used to run a show at the Green Tortoise Hostel, and I used to get along with some of the people there. Some I got along with really well, and we would go in that alley. So, anyways, uh,
Oh,
but
oh,
that was, man, that was 2007 or 2008. Uh, Um, so you improv, your first theater
yeah.
sports. Who was on the team and what were they called?
Oh, my very first team, God, in October 30th or 31st, it was Jeremy Richards, and I want to say it was Andy King, and I were all on a team, and the team name was Corn Maze, but
Hey,
Maize. And of course, Jeremy Richards came up with that name because it's just untacular.
yep, it's completely clever, just like Jeremy. Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
and your first show that, like your first show that you were cast in, the first professional show.
For sure. Yeah. Well, that's interesting because my first professional gig with Unexpected Productions was uh, I was working for UPS's Centennial, and they needed a kid. This was well before I got on the company. I was like 16 or something. I was in Jill Ferris's 100 level class, and they needed a kid to portray the original founder of UPS when he was just a bike delivery boy or something. And so they dressed me up as this little like newsies kid, and like they like send me into hair and makeup. It was an 8-hour gig, and so I was in hair and makeup for like 6 hours, or I guess I was in hair and makeup for like what, like 4. But then they put me in. They kept me in the green room because I was supposed to be a surprise during this whole time. And then when they had like all these people fly in for this like big conference celebration, uh, I came in on this old retro style bike, and I rode through the audience and then rode up onto the ramp and then dismounted the bike as they had another actor who was dressed like me deliver the line, which was something like, "Hey, Mr. Orswell, I got a package for you from Dan Oliver," like whatever the line was or something. And then that was it. We both got the hell off stage, and then the CEO of UPS comes out and like delivers this like stirring speech to people who like flew in from like Ukraine and Kenya and like I don't know, Japan. I don't know. There were people from all over the world who flew in for this like conference, or
Wow.
I guess a celebration, their centennial.
That reminds me of let's see, this had to be 2008. Jay got me a gig like that, um, where a bunch of improvisers would stand on soapboxes in like different intersections around the city for a couple days and be newsies and talk about the Seattle Sounders upcoming game, like it was a playoff game.
Oh my god!
And
Was that wasn't the Chelsea game because we were
no,
newsies.
no, this
Because I got
was.
hired for the Chelsea game a few years later.
Yeah, and I remember I learned the difference between stand up and improv, the thinking process during that, because by day three, all the people were stealing my lines. They're like, "Oh,
Oh,
we'll get these improvisers, and they'll be doing lines." And by day three, I was like 11 on 11, man on man action of soccer,
yeah.
and
And everyone else was taking your line.
yeah, and it was funny. I was calling out jaywalkers. I was like, Sandra, say don't jaywalk. Be safe. And it was
Just trolling people. Yeah, yeah. I remember walking around Seattle doing the Sounders versus Chelsea game and this promo, and we were supposed to be like Chelsea hooligans. And like,
jeez.
we're just like dumb Americans. So yeah, exactly. So we didn't at that point in time like really understand the ramifications of running around saying that we're Chelsea hooligans. But like people were like scared of us. Said that
And
to
it's
the point where we would have to reassure people that no, those are the ones that give us a bad rap. We're the nice ones. Like what your like conservative aunt says or something. Like, oh no, those other Republicans. They're the nice
I know, and it's funny because well, first during that game I was actually on the field crew, so that was some interesting trivia about that. And
Oh, fascinating.
the funny thing about being a Chelsea hooligan, first of all, you are no offense, one of the least intimidating physically looking people I know. You know, you're
Yeah, like slight is putting it very, very kindly.
yeah, yeah, you're 120 pounds even soaking wet. You're
Yeah.
so
Right.
but also the funny thing about like Chelsea hooligans, and this is some trivia for you, they're among the most hardcore hooligans of like the late 70s and 80s. There's actually a weapon named after the Chelsea hooligans.
Oh my God.
It's called the Chelsea Club, where you take like a thick Sunday newspaper, like, and this was the
Uh huh.
1980s newspapers, so they were really thick. You roll it up
There were newspapers.
and you fold it, and you hold it, and that's a Chelsea Club.
Jeez, those guys weren't fucking around.
Unlike you, you're
Wow.
like, I'm a hooligan, yay, go Chelsea.
Yeah, right. Oh, what a yeah. Wowee. Yeah. If well, and it was funny because they were like the people from Chelsea were like really adamant that we had to make sure that we like kept the good name of Chelsea, and I was like, I don't like the into like the second day, I was like, I don't know if they have a good name. Like, I
No,
don't know who they're kidding right now, but everyone cowers in fear at this group of hooligans wandering around.
no. And the real funny thing is, they were pretty much the first Russian billionaire team where he buys all the good players.
Jeez,
So,
wow,
that you were a
yeah.
hooligan
Let
for
me
a day.
I was a hooligan. I was actually a hooligan for 2 days, and they gave me this dumb They gave me a vuvuzela, which
Jeez.
I learned how to echo that thing down in Seattle. But my lips got chapped and started bleeding by day two. I used that thing so much.
Oh,
Yeah, they're gnarly. I mean, I guess they're probably not really meant for prolonged use like that. They're probably
no.
meant for a game.
Literally 90 minutes, then it's done.
Yeah, yeah, no. It was like 13 hours in total, split between 2 days.
Jeez. All right. Well,
Yeah, it was
back to business. Back to you. Well, have you
yeah. I'm
directed?
also trying to think of. I'm trying to think of what other show I was actually in because I don't think I jumped into any casted shows for a little while. I sort of enjoyed just the theater sports and the Gumwall Rally back when it was still called that, which then later became Improv Happy Hour and is now Improv Unplugged. I think I just sort of wrote those for a little while. I want to say maybe my first casted show at UP was a WIUP, which was our improvised radio drama that was directed by Greg Stackhouse.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done any like directed or produced any shows like on the main stage or
Um,
at North?
on the main stage, I haven't yet, and in fact, this is the first year that dropped a I've dropped a suggestion for a show in. and Randy bit, and we're still waiting to have the meeting sometime. We'll see if it gets delayed because of the quarantine and everything.
Yep.
But it should be sometime, probably later April, when we'll be having those conversations about what that next is going to look like. But I never had directed a show up until then, or up until now, simply because, I mean, I'm the bearded kid, right?
Yep.
And I just sort of know that there's a certain modicum of respect that a director needs to have to be able to put together the show that they want and have their vision happen.
Well, come
And
on.
so,
I mean,
yeah, well, I just sort of knew that there was that I still needed a little growing up to do before I was going to be able to like guide like some other improvisers through a through that kind of show process that I would want them to feel comfortable going through.
yeah,
Where
but
it all does feel like we're all collaborating together and we're building the show, but that that I am recognized as the person who has like kind of the final vision on that. And I feel like kind of the age that I had been at, and sort of just like how young and sprightly and fey I look, that people would just kind of see that and be like, oh, I've got this idea, and it would be meant in no harm or anything, but it still would be kind of like constantly kind of undercutting the authority. So there was a little bit of that worry that I had going into it, but there was also just the idea that I didn't really have a show that like called out to me. I've thought about it for probably the past like 4 or 5 years, thinking like, oh, is there a show? Oh, is there a show? And nothing really jumped um, jumped out to me as a show that I would want to do as like kind of my directing debut.
yeah, but
I guess, yeah.
but like you said, you've been with the company for over a decade, and everybody knows you. Everybody knows that you know the craft, you know the stuff. If you say, "Hey, I'm directing this," people would be like, "Oh, of course you're directing this. You're the man. You you're the phenom. You're the wonder kid."
Thank you. You're far too sweet. Uh,
I mean,
and
I've directed shows at UP, and I just tell dick jokes.
yeah, and I guess that isn't to say that I haven't been in a directorial role for a long while.
Yeah.
Like I founded my college's improv group. I did that. I have also recently uh, created a group that does improv at a Renaissance fair in Washington, and so yeah, so and that has been a lot of development and creation of shows. So I do have I've got the experience, but I haven't quite taken that step to UP. I mean, cross your fingers. Hopefully, all goes well.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing my name in lights, market theater lights.
Oh, for sure. What
Yeah.
may I ask you what the show you're gonna pitch is, or do you not want to jinx it?
Oh no! I'm totally fine. I don't believe in that particular superstition, man. The show that I'm looking to pitch is uh, the idea is I want technical improvisers who are doing like lights or sound to be making the primary offers on stage.
Hmm.
That's what I want. And once again, sort of as the answers I've given are twofold, this one is as well. The first reason I want to do the show is because I feel like in notes after shows, oftentimes the technicians are given um, feedback as to like, oh, I wanted you to support me this way and you didn't, and the technical improviser would be like, I thought I was, you just didn't notice that.
Hmm.
Um, and so to try and sort of key up that attunement between technical improvisers and our stage improvisers, there's that. But then I've also found that as I've become a high school teacher teaching technical theater, that the language we use as technicians is really, really not mirrored in the tech theater scene, or sorry, in the improv scene for our technical improvisers, which got me to then thinking we don't really have a language as technical improvisers.
Mm.
And so to then really go to those people at Unexpected and sort of other technical improvisers that I know, and asking them to uh, to teach me what their language is, to then start to codify and put those words to actions that they use, as well as then take the background that I have and teach them, great, what are the terms we have in light design? What are the terms we have in audio when we're doing sound design for shows? And see if we can't sort of merge the two of those together, shake them up in a jar, and see what angry bees come out.
Oh, nice. So, let's say I'm an improviser and you're in the sound booth. I'm standing there waiting for my suggestion. What would be an example of the suggestion they would give?
Absolutely, absolutely. It could be anything like what if it's it could be anything like let's see, putting texture on stage, such as like for those tech theater nerds out there, if I were to throw like a gobo on stage, and put like a breakup leaf pattern, and just let the actors see that and experience that and let that be their first offer.
Gotcha.
Or it could be something even more obtrusive as sort of like when we play like interruption, and it's just like the sound booth gets to just do like whatever the hell they want. So just throw in like a car siren in the middle of a scene and have the improvisers react to that. Uh, the needle I kind of want to thread is I don't want the tech improvisers to take that as the opportunity to basically make the equivalent of just dick jokes on stage to try and like derail or not try and derail, but to like make their offers far too apparent. Like I still want it to feel like a show to the audience, but I also don't want them to feel beholden to what the improvisers are doing is the choices that the technical improvisers need to adhere to. Instead, I want it to be that the technical improvisers are watching this scene and they're thinking of it in the mind of the improviser of the what comes next, what does the scene need, and how can I help tell the story, and what choices can I make to complement, to steer, or to elevate the scene that's already happening.
Gotcha.
Right? So that can look like color. That can look like scene changes. That can look like light music. That can look like a sound effect underneath things. Yeah, and just start to create that sort of awareness on both of them.
Yes. Now, the most important question, because having successfully pitched a show to Unexpected Productions one time,
Uh-huh.
this is the most important thing. What is the name?
Okay. I don't have a name yet. Oh my god, is that the most important thing? How could I have pitched a show without having a name?
Well, here's the thing. Like, when I was talking with Jay originally about having a comedy improv show, he
Yeah.
he was on board, but he really wasn't sure because we had the format, and then he was like, "We need something, just to put on the marquee that people will sell, that'll draw
Yeah.
people in." And then, true story, I was hanging out with my 5-year-old future brother-in-law, and he, and he was just going piggyback, piggyback, for me to give him a piggyback ride, and I was like, "That's a good name for a show." so
Yeah.
so I brought it to Jay, and Jay just exploded. He said, "That's it. That's the name." Brought it to Randy. Randy gave the okay. So
Yeah.
don't discount the name. The name, you need to come up with a name that not only that defines what you're doing, but also pops.
Yeah.
Like technical
Probably Unexpected
difficulties.
Production does technical improv. Probably won't sell very well, will it?
How about technical difficulties?
Technical difficulties. Oh, I like that. Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
Um, it could be light booth.
yeah.
Uh, Light booth improv. No, that sounds like a bad group that's like in like a nowhere America city.
Ooh,
Not to
technically,
say that nowhere America cities have bad improv groups.
yeah.
I'm just saying it would be a bad improv group in
How,
that city.
how about this? In quotes, technically improv.
Yeah. I actually really like that. I might just steal the shit out of that one.
It's all
That's
yours.
brilliant.
Anything that I could help you, I'm more than happy to do.
Which is something that I appreciate and love about you, Seth.
Yeah. I mean that's what I love doing.
Technically,
Like
improv.
I was talking to Tiffany about this. How what I like about improv is I could really hide my hide my weaknesses, which is anything related to acting, and then really push really push my strengths, which is just creating chaos and fun. So,
Uh, I love it. I love it. And what a gift you have at that as well.
yep. My
Wow.
my big trick during duos was if I could find my way off stage at any point, I would do that. If I could, or if I could somehow die or somehow just get out of the way, I would
Yeah.
find a funny way to do that.
Yeah, right? And mine was just to get closer to nude.
Exactly. That's
Right? Just
that. That's your strength and
bring
my
it back
weakness.
full circle. That's right. Bring it back full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. Dave Clapper and I, who sort of originated the horror and sort of the epitome of improvisers' chauvinism, which was improv in your underwear. Uh, we later talked, and we were like, everyone always remarks about that. It's like kind of not like the heart of improv that like either of us individually want to be doing. So why do we collectively keep doing this? And we were like, can we just do like a really nice scene that doesn't involve our clothes being taken off?
Yeah.
So we had scheduled one that was supposed to be. I think it's actually on the books for tomorrow night. But thank you, COVID-19, put the kibosh on on that offer.
Yeah, this is supposed to be your big coming out. We don't have to be naked to have a fun scene.
I know, right? So maybe I'll just give Dave a call randomly, and I'll just be like, "Hey, Dave, so are you in your underwear right now?" He'd be like, "No, why are you asking?" I'd be like, "Shit, I am. I thought it was. Never mind. The joke didn't work." And then hang up.
But he would say he would be, even if he wasn't, knowing Dave Clapper.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I would hope. And
Yeah.
the only way to quarantine correctly is to quarantine naked.
Yeah, I think I've had 3 legitimate pairs of pants on since I started being quarantined. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The only way to do it.
Yeah. All right, so round in third and coming home, starting to wrap this up. Uh,
Yep.
Outside of improv, you're a Renaissance Fair addict. What's the word for somebody who goes to Renaissance Fair? Is there a word for like Residence Fair normal groupie type guy?
Yeah. Let's see. Common terms are rennies. Oh man, what else is there?
Renheads?
I oftentimes get called redhead. I like that. Oftentimes when people hear that I frequent the Renaissance Fair, they usually follow it up with nerd. I get that one. But I think Rennie is sort of the local colloquialism
Yeah.
for those who attend the Renaissance Fair and with some sort of regularness.
Yeah.
I've been at the Renaissance Fair. This will be my 9th year in a row attending Renaissance Fairs as a performer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I was part of a group called No Parchment Needed that was a delightful group, and now I've started my own group called Clergy of Errors, and we're a group of monks who do comedy, and it's just it's stupid. It's way too much fun. We really have a good time doing it. We do things such as inducting people into the Clergy of Errors, which is like all audience participation. We absolve people of their comedy sins, which is where we take someone's joke that fell flat, and we do that as like kind of like a 15-minute long ish form joke, or a scene where we reenact the joke sort of in two beats or two acts maybe, and then the third beat or the third act we then find some sort of resolution to give this person the absolution of their comedy sins. Yeah, and then we've got some just like really just like raunchy bar humor, which we're still trying to figure out what the name for that one is. I keep wanting to call it like Monk's Brew or something like that, but
A guy walks into a bard.
right? Oh, a guy walks into a bar. That's good. I was thinking, call me father, call me daddy. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's sort of that. I got scooped up into it, like I said, about 9 years ago, and just kind of explored this really weird world of Rennies, and fell in love with this strange community of sort of like nerds and cosplayers and history majors and intellectuals and some just like sort of uh, backroad American sort of people. Like it's just kind of people from all walks of life come together and just dress up in leather and period Renaissance garb and camp out for like a couple weekends and I don't know, make this city for people to enjoy during the day and then drink heavily at night. It's
Yeah.
and it's all sort of this like it kind of feels like kind of has this Las Vegas feel where like anything that happens there stays there. It's kind of this bubble world that you live in for just like this weekend, and I'm still processing exactly what it is, but people are just a true delight.
Yeah. What I think it is people uh, who don't live around an area that had a Civil War battle that they could recreate. So they're like, let's grab some horses and I, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we have a medieval times here, and which I refuse to go to, just because I don't
Yeah.
feel that comfortable with a kitchen being that close to a stable. You know, and it's nothing like I don't think they'd serve us horse. That's not the case. But just being around that much horse crap near a kitchen, I don't want to eat
Yeah,
that food.
absolutely. Which is also why I don't think that there should ever be a restaurant in an improv venue because you're also next to so much horse shit.
Oh,
I
complete.
just don't think it's healthy for anyone.
No, no. Comedy clubs just ugh.
Yeah, right.
Although my joke with comedy club food is I got this joke where I talk about diabetes, but I don't make fun of it. And I say, take care of yourself, but I assure you all the food at this club is diabetes proof. You could eat as much as you want of it. So, all right. Well, on that note, eat healthy, and yeah, let's wrap it up. Chaz, it's always fun talking to you. You're one of my favorite people, just in general, not even
Well,
associated with improv.
uh, thank you, and thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and what a treat and a blessing to just be taken out of sort of the day to day of what just being home naked for quarantine really just is.
Yep.
So
And don't
yeah.
forget,
So thank you for this,
oh, no problem.
and it's lovely hearing from you and just chatting and catching up with you too.
Absolutely. And don't forget, viewers, 110 Main Street, Hillcrest Bakery, the best baked bread you'll have in your life.
Absolutely, yeah. Come on down. Say my name. I might just come on out. I don't know if I can get you a discount, but like, I'll be like, oh hey, and you'll be like, I heard you on a podcast. Oh my
Eh,
god,
perfect.
I'm famous.
All right, wrapping up. Take care.